put on. If you want a summary of the first hour of the show, the Valenti show, it's Bogey and Wojo here with you, though. This ticket text, I think, pretty much sums it up at 97136 from Randy. I've dated a stripper. I've been to bachelor parties. I have had my own. But I wholeheartedly agree with Sully. Bogey is a whipped bitch. So, yeah, there you go.
That actually is a very good summation.
Right, yeah. And look, we can get to some more texts. We can get to some more of your phone calls coming up as well. We are leading you into, what is it, a true doubleheader or a straight doubleheader?
Between the Tigers either way, traditional doubleheader.
There we go.
One game after the other, like 30 minutes in between. That's all it is.
There you go.
Just enough to do the Zamboni on the field, and away you go.
Coverage underway at 3:40 right here on 97 on the ticket. So if you're waiting for Tigers baseball, 3:40 is when it'll officially get underway. But, Woj, we are now, 29 hours from the NFL draft officially getting underway. At 8 p.m. prime time, the Detroit Lions picking number 20 overall. And
do we think Roger Goodell is going to do the brother hug to everybody again? The big-ass brother hug?
I will say, I envy him for the fact that he makes like $45 million a year. I don't envy him for the position that he's put in.
For getting booed?
No. Every time that he's up there and a guy is approaching, you never know what handshake you're going to do. Like, he literally has to go through every different one. Do you do just the casual business one? Do you bring it in for the bro hug? Do you do the casual, just, long ways on the hand, slide, grip, move on? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
that's tough.
I think he got blowback, so to speak, for too much of the too heavy brother hug, right? So didn't he dial it down last year?
Hey, I think if anything, dial it up, Roger.
Okay,
go for it. Who cares?
Right, fine, whatever.
Now, we're going to get more into Lions-centric draft talk, tomorrow. We're on after the Tigers game, a day game tomorrow here on the Valenti show. And we'll actually spill over into the Bogey and Wojo show as well.
Wow, spillage.
I know, right? But we were having a discussion before the show. And I do think that Sully kind of brought up a good point. So we want to frame it in this way. As far as the NFL draft is concerned, forget that the Browns are picking number 1 overall, okay? Forget that the Lions are at 20. Forget about the way it's set up. Forget about all of the factors that go into team needs and things of that nature. If you had the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft getting underway tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, prior to Roger Goodell giving a bunch of bro hugs, who are you taking? The phone number is 248-539-9797, and ticket text is at 97136.
This is the rare NFL draft where it's a legitimate question.
Yeah.
Even though maybe it was debate before, but you pretty much knew who was going number 1. And now, like you said, reports that the Browns have started eyeing Baker Mayfield as the number 1 overall pick. And it really is. It's not just the quarterbacks. There's some people that say it should be Bradley Chubb, the defensive end for North Carolina State, number 1 overall. And the way to frame the question, and the phone number is 248-539-9797, ticket text 97136, is not, if you're the Lions, what would you do?
Exactly.
Well, no, because you wouldn't take a quarterback probably. If you were just in charge of the franchise that has the number 1 pick, forgetting even that it's the Browns, who would it be? In other words, who is the most valuable player coming out of the draft, both, for the potential and for now? And I have my answer, but I'll give it second or third.
Okay, well, I'll go ahead and
I know who you're
going to
say. Good. Well, go ahead. I know who you're going to say.
I thought I'd learned my lesson a couple of years ago, where Jared Goff and Carson Wentz were commanding so much attention from all of these teams, and I'm going, I don't see it. I don't see these guys as, an Andrew Luck, these, transcendent talents that are just going to take these franchises to new heights. And I've been proven wrong, I think. In the last couple of years, Carson Wentz, pretty good quarterback. Jared Goff continuing to ascend, under the tutelage of, Sean McVay out in Los Angeles. So I do understand the value of a quarterback and needing to get one at the top of a draft.
Yeah, but you're going to choose the wrong one. Go ahead.
The only problem is I don't view these ones as ones that can immediately come in and make an impact like we've seen with Jared Goff and Carson Wentz. So I can't go quarterback here. And I could be proven wrong again, doubting the quarterback position. To me, Saquon Barkley is the most complete player. He's a guy that, in my mind, could have an Ezekiel Elliott type of impact on whatever team ultimately ends up choosing him. Immediately get the running game going, take pressure off your quarterback, make your offensive line look better by just simply coming up with big plays. Saquon Barkley's the guy for me.
See, and I knew you would say that, because it's cliche.
I'm so predictable. Yeah. Sure.
I think, I'm not this generational back stuff with Saquon Barkley. I saw too many games where it was -3, -2, -4, 1, -175.
Oh, I see.
No, I mean,
I see what's going on.
No, those big game breakers do not, in my mind, translate as much to the NFL.
You don't think he's physical enough?
I think he probably is. I'm not sure he's big enough.
You see what this is? Wojo watched Saquon Barkley run all over his Wolverines and Don Browns, the Fighting Mustaches, and he wants to hold it against Saquon Barkley.
No, that would make me say I pick him more. You would think.
Sure.
No, I would honestly, and I'm not buying any of these quarterbacks. I think it was Todd McShay say the only two quarterbacks in the last 10 years that he thought were absolute lock, sure things were Andrew Luck and Carson Wentz. And when you go back and look, a lot of people were very high in Carson Wentz, even more than Jared Goff. None of these guys, Josh Allen, Sam Darnold, who knows? I mean, I actually can sort of see why the Browns are so perhaps perplexed by this, because whichever one you pick, there's a 75% chance you pick the wrong one.
Not to mention, isn't it so Browns that they get the first and the fourth pick in a year when there isn't one of those quarterbacks? That's almost a guarantee.
No, it's a
really
great
good.
year to have the fourth pick. It is.
That's true.
It's not a great year to have the first pick. The fourth pick,
I would agree.
Some of the mistakes maybe get out of your way. If I had the number one pick, I do think it would be Bradley Chubb, the defensive end for North Carolina State. And, I don't know about generational, but the pass rusher, physical specimen, speed, strength, everything you want in a pass rusher. And normally that's not the ideal thing to take, number one. But I'm not taking one of the quarterbacks. I'm not taking Baker Mayfield. I call BS on Baker Mayfield going up to number one. I call smokescreen,
100%.
Completely trying to build intrigue leading up to the draft. BS.
Okay, then how about this? And look, the phone number is 248-539-9797. We can bring the guys in as well in just a second. But to me, again, the question is, forget about the team, forget about needs, forget about what you might want, whatever it is. You have the number one pick in the NFL draft. Who are you going with? But we should add this as well, because I think this bears discussion too. Then, since we're both undecided on any of these quarterbacks, you have to take a QB. Which one are you actually?
Can't make me.
No. Outside of the number one pick, you have to take a quarterback of this group of quarterbacks.
Which one do you take?
Which one do you actually have the most faith in? Because to me, I guess I would go with Sam Darnold, just because you've heard enough about him, over the years, and people seem to think that while he's not Andrew Luck level, he's closest potentially to being that. I think Josh Rosen, there's no production there for me to believe that, he's got it. There's not consistent enough production.
No.
I've seen Sam Darnold have an unbelievable year. This past season kind of took a step back. They had a lot of offensive line issues. Josh Allen, no thank you. Baker Mayfield, I think he's good. Do I think that he's ready to lead an NFL team? I think he's got more Johnny Manziel in him than he does Andrew Luck. And that might be completely unfair, but that's what I see.
If you're inclined to say Baker Mayfield is then why not just say Lamar Jackson from Louisville?
Fair
a lot
enough.
of people are starting to rise on him. I think for the same reasons as Baker Mayfield, a playmaker in all ways, a winner, a winning type, certainly. Production. Josh Allen, I'm sorry. He's just not accurate enough. There's no way. He completed 56% of his passes in college. Accuracy just doesn't arrive when you arrive in the NFL.
Don't get it.
Look at Sully.
Here he
He's
comes.
giving you
Sam
the
Darnold
stare.
is the guy that turns the ball over every other play. Sam Darnold's who I'm supposed to be sold on. Josh Allen, at least he's huge. He has a cannon for arm. The accuracy did get better as the year went on. And you know what, guys? Everything you hear about him, he interviewed great at the Combine. Teams love him. He's a confident guy. You don't hear about any of the Josh Rosen stuff with Josh Allen. He's just appears to be a very good leader. That's what you need.
Well, Josh Rosen's a very confident guy as well. So, I mean, that's certainly a comparison with them. With Darnold, it's just I've seen more glimpses of greatness. Like, you think back even to the Rose Bowl a couple years ago against Penn State. What an unbelievable, game and performance that actually was. And I'm not basing this all on one game. I'm just saying the guy that I think is closest to being a franchise quarterback and maybe an elite quarterback, Sam Darnold.
I rank him fourth.
Woo, really? Now, he did have a lot of turnovers, but little Bogey kid is right. The USC offensive line was shredded.
Getting pummeled.
Absolutely shredded.
I mean, it was like David Carr the first year he was with the Houston Texans. The guy got destroyed.
So you're just down on Darnold solely because of the turnovers, the interceptions?
Mainly, I just think he's a little overrated.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're all a little overrated, to be honest.
I agree.
These should not be the top 4 or 5 quarterbacks.
I'm not sold on any of them.
In any given year.
But I think that's why the question actually does lead to a great discussion. The phone number is 248-539-9797. Regardless of what team, what needs you may have, you have the number 1 pick tomorrow night in the NFL draft. Who are you allowing to give, Roger Goodell a big bro hug to immediately? I got Saquon Barkley. Woj, you're going with
the
defensive end? Okay,
Bradley
there you go.
Chubb, not Nick Chubb.
Bradley Chubb, yeah, not the running back out of Georgia. And if we want to add the quarterback thing to the mix, you have to go with one of these guys. Who are you putting your confidence in? 97.1.